Salutations, everybody. Well, this one is slightly different, isn't it? As it happens, I've gone and picked an old drawing I made when I was 11 and decided to remake it in a cartoon-like style that I feel would better match the character. Like most 11-year-olds, I was very rough in the art department, and some days I don't feel like that's changed at all. When I was a kid, I had an amazing group of friends. You lovely human beings know who you are, who were also my art buddies. We all loved the same video games, cartoons, music, the lot. In fact, I have my own personalized eras, as I'm sure everyone does, that I can tell what games and TV shows I was watching at the time just by looking at the art from that period. During these eras, my friends and I would all make work that we knew was the best in all of creation, of course. And then years later, we would sit down and draw together and pick these old characters that we'd made and had decided to redraw. Often, in fact, we'd choose a character that we were very proud of and spend a fair amount of time mocking our respective characters for how poorly they were made. We could get on a roll and laugh about this for hours, about short arms, giant legs, or what I was most notorious for, giant necks and floating heads. Seriously, look at the dude I'm drawing right now. His neck is huge and I don't even know what's going on with the shape of his head. This is something that always gave me great joy, and to this day it's irresistible to me to find someone I've forgotten and throw them into a new style and a new look. I have hundreds of pages of characters that I've made that I could redraw or reuse someday. In many ways, it's like talking to my younger self. The two of us are completely different people, of course, but in redrawing the characters I made as a child and I used to love, I can remember the kid who had all the sparkly notions of being a comic book artist and being the best like no one ever was, that sort of thing, and how excited that made him to keep making art. It also functions as a form of self-criticism. Whenever you evolve as an artist, it helps to go back and to look at where you came from, make changes, improvements, and then remake them a few years later with your new knowledge. It helps you see where you've gone wrong, but it also helps you see what you're doing right. So redrawing has a special place in my heart for this reason, though it isn't my best reason. In that place in my heart, the best reason truly belongs to the place I sit with my friends who I love and respect to this day. And just like back then, we're all sat crunched up on the floor, TV on in the background making whatever kind of noise, with our noses in our sketchbook, and our hearts on our pages, and more than anything, we're doing it together. Alright, aside from me being rather saccharine, I'll talk about this character. Ultimately, he was supposed to be a bad guy, but became a protagonist of a story I wrote later. He was supposed to belong to a race of pygmy dragons, so his people were tiny shapeshifters with a lot of moxie. When he was still in bad guy mode, he was a tiny assassin with a dread curse that was, ooh, so mysterious, and would use the fact that he looked so young to fool others into thinking he was harmless. This sounds more interesting than it became because my ability to write was non-existent at that age, and it's very clearly ripped right from Breath of Fire, down to his boots. Can anybody say T-Boat from Breath of Fire 3? So for this iteration, I ran with the dragon theme and the short stature, but I gave him a fuzzy feathered look rather than something scaled and jagged. I can't say I've come up with a different story element, just a new design. Either way, it was fun seeing him again, and I'm glad I got to share him with all of you guys. And look, I've talked for an entire video, and it wasn't an announcement about something horrible happening. So, I count that as a win, as a plus. Cheers everyone, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for joining me.